Hey guys, this is a video I never thought I would have to film. I wasn't even sure if I was going to, but I know there's some of you that were following my journey and that were so happy for me and Scotty, and so I knew I needed to come on here and explain things to you. So on Thursday, October 26th, I delivered my daughter, and she was stillborn. I was 23 weeks gestation, but by her measurements, she was measuring 21 weeks. So the doctor thinks I lost her 10 to 14 days before. So I went in on the 24th for my just routine appointment, and they couldn't find the heartbeat. So they took me in for ultrasound, and he let us know that there was no heartbeat. So then my doctor told me I needed to go home and think about my options, which was to either induce labor or to have a D&E. So that night, that's what I had to think about and tell Scotty, because he wasn't at the appointment with me. So I could not. That was so hard. I was trying to think of what was medically best for me. If I chose one over the other, would it be harder on my body? What I could emotionally handle. I just could not decide what to do. So I had the next day I had my appointment at 11:30, and on the drive to the doctor's office, I still hadn't decided what I wanted to do. I was torn, like 50-50, because I knew with the D&E that I would heal faster and it would be easier on my body, but I didn't know if I could emotionally handle doing a D&E. But then at the same time, I didn't know if I could emotionally handle delivering a baby that I couldn't keep. So I went to the doctor, and I asked his advice, and so then we decided what was best was to induce labor. And I asked him when that would happen, and he said it could happen tonight. Like, it was Wednesday, and he's like, it can happen tonight. And we agreed to that. He called over to the hospital, set everything up, and so we got to go home for a few hours. And where I live is like 45 miles away from the hospital, so it's a little under a hour drive. So we had to drive that hour home and get everything in order. So I hadn't slept the whole night before because I couldn't decide what to do, and I knew I wasn't really going to be sleeping that night, obviously. And so my intention was to come home and nap, but there's just no way you can get any rest. So I came home and I did laundry and just got everything straightened up at home so I wouldn't have to worry about it afterwards. And then that night I went to the hospital and it was me and Scotty and my mom. And they induced labor. And so I ended up having her Thursday at 1:15 in the morning. And they let her stay with me right after I had her. They let me hold her. And my husband held her and my mom held her. And they let us keep her for a little under 10 hours. And I wasn't sure how that would go. I wasn't sure if I would get 30 minutes and they'd take her away from me, 2 hours, what? But I had almost 10 hours, and if I wanted to, they would have let me keep her longer. But I knew it was time. So we got to spend the whole night with her, with us, just holding her and admiring her and loving her. And then we had to call the mortuary, so they came and picked her up. And then I got discharged from the hospital, and I drove straight to the mortuary and set up all the arrangements. And then on Saturday we had a burial for her. And this is literally the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. And you guys know I've had 2 previous miscarriages. But, oh my gosh, this is so much harder. Because I named her and I loved her. I loved all my babies, but I felt her kick. I delivered her. And I got past that point where I thought I was gonna be okay. But anyway, now she's buried here in town, and so at least I can go visit her whenever I want to. But it's so hard. I feel like my whole world has changed. I was so happy, and now my house just feels empty. Everything, I have her whole nursery set up, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should put everything away or just leave it. I just don't know what to do. Today's November 1st, and in 3 months I should be having my baby, and instead I buried my baby a few days ago. And I just don't understand how this is okay. And then people say maybe it happened for a reason. But how is that any comfort? How does that make any sense? Why? I just don't understand. So I had a doctor's appointment, a follow-up yesterday, and he's gonna run more tests on me in he said either January or February. And just I guess see where we go from there. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna keep making videos. I don't know if I have it in me anymore. But I just wanted to get on here and explain to you guys what happened. And I didn't want to just leave it and then have you wondering when I had the baby or anything like that. So I felt like you guys have been there for me through all of this, and so I needed to explain to you what happened. And as far as what did happen to the baby, they don't know for sure, but the umbilical cord towards her body was really lean, really tiny, and so that's what he thinks caused it. But there's really no way to know for sure. But I guess that's where we're at right now. I just have to heal physically and try to, I guess, heal emotionally. But I really don't know how that's gonna happen. But that's what happened to my daughter, Chandler. And I guess I'll talk to you guys someday. Bye.